All right, we are live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our final live stream of our advising live stream series of this summer.
Yay!
My name is Meg Austin, and I am one of the academic advisors that works in the Center for Advising Career and Student Success at Cal State Monterey Bay. I advise for the biology, marine science, environmental science, and environmental studies majors. Thank you, everyone who's already watching. This is our last live stream, like I mentioned, but if you can't watch it live, then you can watch any of the live streams that we've already posted on our YouTube channel, on CSUMB Advising YouTube channel. So go ahead and check those out if you can't watch them live. And you can leave questions in the comment section if you have questions after the live stream, and we'll do our best to get those answered as well. But if you're watching live, there's a chat section on the right-hand side of your screen next to the video of what you're watching. Leave your questions there, and we'll try to get them all answered before the end of today's live stream. We have a couple coming in, but I think I'm gonna hand it over to our awesome advisors who are presenting today while we get more questions rolling in. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
Thank you, Meg. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Jessica, and I am an academic advisor for computer science, communication design, psychology, math, lower division, and undeclared students.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Hi, everybody. My name is Chrissy Lofgren, and I advise for psychology. Woo! I also advise for undeclared with Jessica, and right now I am advising for human development and family studies.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer. I'm advising for business M through Z, and for right now, just VPA too.
Yay.
Yay.
So we have a lot of advisors covering a lot of different majors today. So bring us your questions. We're ready for you.
Yeah, I meant to mention too that these live streams aren't supposed to be major specific. You were meant to kind of answer more general questions, but obviously if there's questions that come up that are related to the majors that each of the four of us advise for, then we can help as much as we can. But be sure you're checking your CSUMB email, because you all should have access to it now, and you are getting communications from your specific academic advisors with specific information for your major too. So make sure you're checking those out too and actually reading them.
CSUMB email is the main line of communication, the only real line of communication for the campus for all departments. So it's really important that you check that and you're checking it often.
Boom.
Good plug.
So,
What questions do you have?
we have two. Should we get right into them?
Let's do it.
Do it.
All right. So this one's from Benjamin, and I might actually ask Benjamin to provide a little bit of clarification, but we might be able to talk about some things for this question, but while he does provide that clarification. But the question is, can you please talk about what technology students are expected to provide in different disciplines?
So that will obviously be specific to different disciplines. If you're in something like computer science or communication design, you're going to need a laptop more than likely. There'll be software that you have to use. If you can't put that onto a laptop, we do have labs on campus, and that goes for every major. Yep. We have labs all over campus that have different software that you need, like SPSS for psychology and SPSN. There's certain software for global studies that I know that they use for different classes. So that's available on campus, but if you have a laptop, that's awesome. Specific majors, you are probably going to need a laptop, and the professors will let you know. You don't need it right away if you don't have one, but you'll probably end up needing to invest in one.
We have a tech rental system here that I believe is still downstairs in the library, but I will look into that to verify. So that you could rent a laptop for a semester, and they have different things you can rent there. I know it was laptops, and I think they had iPads that you could rent there. So they have different things that you can check out, and you can check it out just for a day or a couple hours, or I believe you can do semester long. So again, from any homepage, if you just type in tech rental, it'll show you, oh, coming soon, good. But it'll show you, okay. We're gonna get that information, we're gonna put it on our website, because it's probably not updated right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
We do have them, stay tuned. Yeah, because I've had several students do it throughout the years. So.
Yeah, you can always check in with our support.
So if you have a specific question as far as if Jessica didn't answer your question right now, let us know so then we can be more specific.
I was also going to add for like cinematic arts and for VPA, certain majors that you need like cameras and things like that. I think they also have some available in the department, but it's going to be different for every major. So you'll want to check in with the faculty of that department.
Yeah, he hasn't followed up with a more specific question, but let's see if he provides one later on. So this next question might be a little bit financially related, but let's just shoot it out there to see what we can provide. When should students start taking out loans to pay for tuition, housing, etc.?
So yeah, I would say that is tuition related, and I would talk to financial aid. Loan should probably already be in place by now. If you have a financial aid loan, you should definitely check in with financial aid. You can find their information on our website. If you're local, you can go to their office, which they're in Building 47, the Student Services Building. But definitely any information on tuition, if you just type in tuition and fees in the search bar on any CSUMB page, it'll give you the full fees that they charge too. But I would definitely be looking into that now because tuition is due very soon.
Yeah.
I want to say August. Yeah, 1.
And you can check also once you register in classes, you can check your CMS Student Center for payments and for when payments are due in the financial section of your CMS Student Center. Okay, we have a question from Alex Jernigan. Can you explain how CAD 100A and CAD 100B work? How would I know I need to enroll in them?
Excellent question, Alex.
So our CAD classes are specifically for incoming freshmen, so first-time freshmen that are here their first year of college who need a little extra support in getting ready for college-level English. It is a class that will actually count towards your college credits that you need to graduate, and it's just going to kind of prepare you. It's a 2-semester class, so if you need English remediation, you can find that information on your CMS homepage under Holt. You'll take CAD 100A the first semester, and then you'll be automatically enrolled in the second section for your spring semester, CAD 100B. It's a class that you're going to take with the same students, and you're also going to take it with the same professor, so that's kind of great because you get to stick with the same people and you'll have them in your class for both semesters. And it's really just to make sure you're ready for that writing because you're going to have it all throughout your 4 years here.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex, if you're not sure if you need that class, you should consult with your advisor and or consult your CMS Student Center on the right-hand side, as Jessica was saying.
Yes.
Alex.
All right.
Right?
Another one from Alex. Do I need to take them this year or can I take them later?
If you have any kind of remediation holds on your account, you're going to want to make sure you take care of those your first year here. It's extremely important, and you're going to hear your advisor say that a bunch of times, but you need to make sure that all remediation is done before you finish your first year. That's for this fall and spring. If it's not done, then you can be administratively withdrawn from the university, and you have to go and complete those classes at a community college before you can come back. So very important if you have any kind of remediation hold on your CMS account to make sure that's taken care of.
That is a continuous message you're going to hear, because whether it's math or English, you're going to hear that from us. You're getting that message right now from admissions. All of the advisors go into first year seminar classes, which for all of the freshmen, they'll be hearing that. So it's definitely a message you're going to be getting for the next couple semesters if you need it. So make sure that you get in those classes first semester if you need them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have a question. We don't have any more coming in, but as if I were a student, I'm coming to orientation, and I want to know how and when I can pick up my classes at orientation. Can I do that? Is that what we're going to do at orientation?
Would you like to answer that question, Jennifer?
I can answer that one.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we don't basically register for classes on orientation day, but we kind of guide you through what classes, give you some idea about what classes you should take when the semester starts. So by the time registration comes around, which is the 23rd for those people that are attending orientation, 26th for people that are not attending orientation, you will be able to register for the classes that you will need.
And if you are a senior or if you're a California Promise, you start registering on the 21st. So
Yeah.
make sure you check your CMS Student Center for excellent point for the enrollment time. This is a question that I've been getting a lot in my email. I was at orientation the other day, and they told me that I start registering on the 13th. So that was just a miscommunication. That your CMS Student Center is the exact time and date that you register. So if it says June 21st at 8 a.m., that's when you register. If it says June 23rd at 10, that's when you register. And you don't want to register before then. You want to make sure that you're on your computer, ready to rock and roll at that time to proceed and finish enrolling. So just make sure you check your Student Center.
The other part of that question also, sorry Jennifer, is you can actually add classes to your shopping cart now.
Yes,
so that's different. That's a different thing than actually registering for your classes. Adding them to your shopping cart is just like the example we like to use is online shopping. You can put a bunch of stuff in your cart, but until you check out, which is our registration, you're not officially in the class. So go ahead and add a bunch of classes to your shopping cart right now so you have them ready to go. And then once that date and time comes around, you can actually register for those classes.
And for business student, I would say don't forget to validate your shopping cart beforehand.
That goes for everybody.
Yeah. Everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a way you can validate your shopping cart. So if you need permission codes or some of your transfer credit hasn't come in for transfer students, or if you have AP scores or things like that, if they're not in the system, we won't be able to know that you've taken that prereq. So you need codes to override that. You can contact your advisor, or we have a list on our website of the people that pass out codes for the different departments.
All right.
If Louis Martin is watching, we need pest control in here. And you know what I mean. Rocket.
Next question. What is first year seminar?
First year seminar. First year seminar is, well, I'll take this one.
Yeah, go for it.
First year seminar is a class that all freshmen need to take if you have less than 30 units. I actually have quite a few freshmen that I've talked to that have done the classes at their community college and their high school at the same time, so they have more than 30 units. But if you say have 20 units, you need to take first year seminar. It's basically the class you take your first year to get you acclimated to college, learn about some services that we offer on campus. We have Study Abroad come in and talk in those classrooms. We have the Cooperative Learning Center come in and talk, which is our tutoring center on campus. Who else comes in and talks?
Career advisors,
Thank
academic
you.
advisors.
I'm forgetting everyone. I think that we have Student Disability Resources comes in. We have they kind of show you all of the cool resources that we have on campus. There'll be an actual GE area course, either in social science or humanities or health. So you're going to get GE credit for the course, and you will get credit for that first year seminar class. And if you have less than 30 units, you need it to graduate.
Yeah. Another thing, for most classes, not all, but most of them require that you meet with your advisor to do a learning plan, which is typically like 2-year plan or sometimes 4 years for different majors. So you'll be actually planning out your next few semesters for your major, so you know exactly what to take.
And one more thing, I had a lot of transfer students that asked me like if they need to take the first year seminar, because right now it looks red. But if you transferred over 30 units, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Good point.
Don't add it.
Yeah, so they'll clear it for you when they do what we call consensus.
Yeah. Some of them are starting to clear now.
Yeah.
I've seen a few of them are starting to clear.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you are a transfer student with more than 30 units, you do not need first year seminar.
Boom.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent question, Meg.
Next question from Giselle. I need math remediation, but my holds doesn't tell me if I should take 98 or 99. But I got a C on my pre-calc class. What math class should I enroll in?
So when you click on your holds, if you go into your CMS Student Center, on the right-hand side, you actually click on the hold. It'll come up, and then click one more time. It'll tell you exactly what class you need. And if you're having a hard time finding that, please email your advisor. We're more than happy to walk you through that, but it should tell you exactly what you need. And if you were conditional, that's a different subject. If you had conditional requirements and if you passed your high school class, then you're good. But if you're not conditional, then you'll need to take whatever classes in your CMS Student Center.
Yeah, I think for a lot of the freshmen, some of the holds have been lifted because of those conditional classes that you were waiting for your final transcripts. So if you had it on there and it went away, that more than likely means you've been cleared, but you can contact admissions if you want to verify, our admissions office.
All right. Next question. Should students schedule meetings with advisors about classes at this point?
Why
Good
not?
question. So we're pretty busy right now with orientation, and we have registration coming up, so our availability is limited. But if you have questions or you're not sure what classes to take, definitely. I will probably say for most advisors, learning plans are probably not going to happen until after we get all of your final transcripts, which will be in July. So if you're looking for a whole learning plan, I might wait until July for that to happen. Especially if you're not in the area, it's better to make those learning plans in person. You'll have plenty of time your first semester to do those learning plans. So if you need to wait for that time, that's fine. If you're local and you're in the area, July is a perfect time to do it. We're pretty slow, so we'll have lots of availability. But quick questions, or if you're not quite sure what classes to take, definitely reach out to your advisor.
I see that otter there, Chrissy.
You
The otter. Okay, so Diego asked a question, but Alex actually went in and answered it. He was a kin student.
Okay.
So the next question is, let's see here. Should I get some classes? So I might need to get some clarification on this one from Caitlin, but she's saying on the CSUMB website, the list of classes show that the same classes give a different number of units when taught by different professors. Is there a reason for this? So I think Caitlin might be talking about how some classes have attached lab components to a class. So it's titled the same, it has the same course code and course number, but there's different number of units assigned because one is a lecture portion and one is a lab portion, and they're tied together. And the lab might be taught by a different instructor than the lecture portion. I think Caitlin is one of my marine science students. So yeah, if you're seeing a class that has two different section numbers or different unit numbers, and they're meant to be components of one another, but they're not going to be. They'll be taught by different instructors and meet at different times of the week. You could just look under the meeting times of that section that you're looking at to see when they meet. I hope that helps answer your question. But yeah, that when you see like, Chem 110 section 01 or section 02, those are usually lectures, and then section 51, 52, those are discussions, section 61, 62, sometimes those are labs. So it just, when you go in to add the class to your schedule planner, then it's gonna ask you to add those lab components as well with it.
Same thing for psych too. If you can see labs, you have to take the same lecture. For psych, you have to take the same lecture in the same lab, but students will see one unit and they want to take that, but they have to take both of them. You have to take the lecture and the lab if there's a course and a lab that goes with it.
Yeah.
Right. I hope that helps answer your question, Caitlin.
If not, let us know.
Yeah.
Jessica will answer it.
All right. Well, don't have any more new questions come in, but I can still ask one as if I was a student.
All right.
Let's see here.
Give me something easy.
Something
if it's hard, Jennifer's gonna answer it if it's hard.
Let's see. When I'm planning my classes, how much time should I leave between each class?
Great question.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I mean, it just depends on you. Like sometimes, like when I was going to school, I just wanted to be back to back. So I wasn't wasting any time and I was just getting done. But a lot of people like to take a break in the middle of their classes and have a lunch or like just rest. That's a good idea too. But there's something else that like I would always check and see too, because midterm time, when they're back to back, that means you have back to back midterms or like back to back finals. So you have to keep that in mind when you're planning your schedule.
The other thing you should keep in mind is parking sometimes. Sometimes it's quicker to park in one spot centrally located on campus and then just walk. So allow yourself time to walk in between classes.
Yeah.
I get that question a lot actually. Like I have a class in building 45 and then my next class is in Ocean Hall. Can I make it in 10 minutes? Maybe on a bike.
Yeah, Chrissy and I have hiked from the library all the way out to Ocean.
Yeah, to prove that we could do it.
And we were speed walking, and it took us probably, 12, 15 minutes to speed walk down there. So if you don't want to be late and kind of out of breath and sweaty to your next class, I would give yourself a little extra time. But if the buildings are close together, you should be good.
Most classes you can get to in 10 minutes, I would say, especially if they're around the quad area. Look on a map too, and I think it's always great before you get here, before classes start. If you're here early, go around and find all of your classes, so that way you're not running around crazy person on that first day. So that way you know exactly where your classrooms are. So it's always a good thing to do the first day.
And the nice thing about this semester is we're not starting classes until Wednesday, so you have Monday and Tuesday to kind of walk around campus and become familiar with your classes and your buildings.
Yep.
And there'll be a bunch of helpful people around to answer questions if you have anything come up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so another one from Benjamin. What should students look at to choose their classes for their registration date?
So Benjamin, you should have gotten some emails from your advisor, which will give you examples of classes to register for. If you haven't got that email, or if you're still kind of not sure, you should definitely check in with your advisor. If you don't know who your advisor is, then we can actually show you right now since we have some time.
Nice leadway.
Let me share our screen here.
Perfect.
Look at this, Jessica.
You know what?
You're really good at this.
Okay. Ooh. Can you see Technology Support Services, Meg?
Yes. Yes, I can.
Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so if you are on the CSUMB website, and if you type in the search bar for academic advising or anything that you're looking for, it'll show up here. So we're going to our website. If you click on Meet the Staff, you will see a list of all of our advisors, who they advise for, right here at the bottom in a picture, so you know exactly what they look like. All of us are listed here and all of the majors that we advise for. Take a look if you're interested in changing your major, or if you're interested in doing a minor, you can take a look and see who you should be speaking with. Most of us have pictures, and most of us are located in the library. Meg is an example of somebody who is not in the library. She's in the Chapman Science Academic Center, and our office information will be there as well. So if you don't know who your advisor is, Benjamin, you can take a look there and get their contact information. But check your email too.
Wow.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's because I jinxed you and I said you were so good at this.
I know, right? I think it's because I'm sharing that same screen. Okay.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, another one from Alex. Why is it saying that I have not met the prerequisites for a GWAR course if I'm an incoming transfer student?
Excellent question, Alex. Perhaps it's because your final transcript from your community college is not quite in the system yet. You may have sent it before the due date, which is great, but a lot of times admissions is working, trying to get all the transcripts in, and there's hundreds and hundreds of transcripts. So it's probably just that your final transcript is not put into the system yet, so you'll need a permission code. And actually the screen that Jessica was just on, if you go to our advising website, there is a link under guides and tools. And if you're not sure, hey, how do I get a permission code? I need to take GWAR, HCOM 312. There's a link on there and it'll show you exactly who you would email to get that permission code.
Oh,
excellent question.
Very good question. Next one here from John. I am a first-year freshman and I already took Calculus BC in high school, so will I be required to take a math class as a new student?
That will depend on your major. If your requirements for that major are Calculus or Calc 2, then you're good. I know, like for business, they have specific math class they want you to take for that major, or psychology, there's certain classes that you need to take for math. So you might have to take a math class, but to meet the university requirement, you will be done. It's just depending on your major. So check in with your advisor on that one.
Also, to clarify too, he did say he took Calculus BC, but not necessarily the exam, the AP exam. So if you didn't take the AP exam, then if you didn't score with a certain score or higher, like if you didn't pass it with a 3 or higher, then yeah, you still might need to take math classes if you didn't take the AP exams itself and didn't pass them. So
level.
Yeah.
Yes.
You might have taken the class. Okay, he did take the AP exam.
Okay, good.
So he's saying,
if you get a 4 or 5 or a 3, I think for math, you should be good as far as that requirement goes for the university. But again, check in with your advisor about math requirements for your major.
Yeah, so he's actually saying he's biology, so he's one of mine. But so if you pass the AP's exam, then you have fulfilled the math requirement, the GE math requirement. but depending on what score you got, you may still want to take Calc 2 or before you graduate, because if you're intending to go to grad school, some grad schools just want to see actual calculus on your transcript. So just check. We'll talk when I see your transfer credit, and then when we meet when you start here at CSUMB. But you can also email me too if you want to talk to me about your score specifically. Okay. Where can I get more information about how AP and dual enrollment classes affect what GE credits are further needed?
Great question. So
Excellent question.
when we get your transcripts into the system and admissions has put them in, they will code them for you and let you know what requirements are met by those classes that you took. Then you can see those in your transfer credit report. They will also show up on your academic requirements report, and they'll be shown as being checked off with a green check mark. That means you're done with that requirement. So there's 2 places you can check. The transfer credit will list everything that you transferred in with, and usually they'll have a code on the right-hand side that'll tell you what they transferred over as. And then your requirements page will show a checkoff list of those classes as well.
All right.
Questions about it, ask your advisor.
I see a theme.
There is a theme. Always check
Oh,
with your advisor.
but also there's another theme going on here. It's a green theme that I was not invited into. We texted each other last night, so I was like, let's put more green for our webinar.
And
Green
don't tell
for
Chrissy.
power.
And don't tell Chrissy.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You don't need to be matchy, Chrissy. You are your own person. Okay, so John says thank you. You're very welcome, John. We don't have any more new questions come in. Let's see if I can think of anyone's here that I can ask as if I were a new student.
Yeah. What are some questions we've been getting?
Biggest one was enrollment times.
Mhm.
Do I register at orientation? No.
Mm-hmm.
But bring your questions too. I mean, if you have general questions, bring them to orientation if you're coming to orientation. It's a great place to actually ask your advisor, but you can also reach out to your advisor before orientation.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh,
What-
open lab tonight or today?
Oh, yeah.
Today, from 1 o'clock to
1:30.
4:30-ish. You're welcome to come in if you're local, and if you're in the area, we will all be downstairs, or a lot of us will be downstairs, kind of helping out in the library. So you can come in if you have some technical problems, or if you have some general questions to ask. You can always come into our open lab, and we'll help you get set up. If you're local, don't drive.
Don't catch a flight.
Yeah.
We're not that exciting. We're not.
Okay, what is one piece of academic advice you would give to new students?
Other than meet with your advisor? Get to know your advisor?
Yeah. Advising. I would say know your requirements page. I've been telling all of my transfer students, but also you freshmen, take a look at your requirements page. It's on your CMS account. It's a checkoff list of everything that you need to graduate. It's based on your catalog. So when you first start here, all the list of your major and the GEs are going to be on there. So take a look at it and read all of it. It's a lot of information, but if you are familiar and if you take control of that in your academic journey, it'll really help you kind of go through and know exactly what you're taking. A lot of people are worried about taking classes they don't need. Well, if you keep an eye on that, you won't take classes that you don't need. And also check in with your advisor.
That's excellent advice.
Yeah.
It really is. Knowing your CMS requirements report is huge.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. How many units should I take in my first semester?
Okay, so 12 units is a full time, but it's a good idea to take anything from 14 to 16 units in order to, if you want to graduate in that 4 years period. But it's, again, it's your thing. Some people work, and so they're working full time and they can't take, 14, 16 units. So it just depends on every student's situation. You don't want to overwhelm yourself because obviously you want to get good grades. You don't want to fail any classes.
And everybody's different. For some students, they're going to come in and they're going to take 12 units, and that's great. I have some students that are working full-time jobs and they have families and they only want to take 1 or 2 classes. And you know what? If that's what's right for you, then that's what's right for you. And we can arrange things as we go, but don't overwhelm yourself. Sometimes I see that happen more often than not, especially with transfer students. So like, oh yeah, I used to take like 18 and 19 at my community college. You know, just don't overwhelm yourself because it's a transition, it's new, and until you get to know the lay of the land, you know, maybe just start out with like your 4 classes and go from there. And one other thing I want to mention is that unlike community college, for my transfer peeps, you only have 2 weeks to add and drop classes. Some community colleges, I know you can still withdraw from classes at any given date, but here you only have 2 weeks to make any changes to your schedule. So you want to make sure if you're in that one class and you're just like it's too much, not feeling the love, you make sure you drop it in CMS because the professors may or may not drop you. It's not their responsibility to drop you. So you got to make sure that you make those schedule changes.
And something else about upper division courses are very different than lower division courses. So just because you took like 18 units at a community college doesn't mean like it's going to be the same thing here as a transfer student, because upper division courses are kind of different.
Yeah, I will say also just for our university specifically, we have a lot of group projects here and just projects in general. It's not so much taking tests, and that's going to vary, you know, depending on your major, but most of us and most majors across campus are very project focused. So you're going to have a lot of things that you have to do outside of class. And it's not just going to be like attending a lecture and taking like a multiple choice test. It's going to be more involved. You're going to have reading that you're going to be expected to do before you attend class. I know, right? You're going to actually have to read. And so make sure you're just giving yourself time to do that. Your first semester especially, be kind to yourself and maybe go on the side of caution as far as classes, and just kind of really be mindful of your time and the requirements of the class. Like Chrissy said, you have the first 2 weeks to drop, so you can take a look at the syllabus, look at all the requirements and the projects and the due dates and the test, and kind of compare that and see if that's going to be something that you can handle.
Great points.
More questions? Or do we have to do the song and dance routine that we've been working on?
We actually do have some more questions coming in, so hold off on the dance routine. I'm sorry.
We're so ready to.
Okay, let's see here. So we might have to refer out for this question, but we can say who to. I recently received an EOP grant, and I am required to take a summer bridge course. Do you have any information on that?
Contact EOP because they will be sending emails telling you what you need. Because if you need to do summer bridge, you got to get on that. So definitely contact EOP and check your CSUMB email too, because you should have information on that.
Yeah, they're also working over the summer, so if you're in the area, you can stop by and see them if you want to talk in person, but also you can call or email them directly.
All right, next question. If a class is full, is it recommended to go and petition that course? And I assume they mean go and try and add it. Add it, the class, even if it's full.
You can try. I know there are certain majors, and I'll just speak for psychology right now, that the department chair says absolutely no over-enrolling classes. It doesn't mean you still can't try. We have something called an add drop form or schedule adjustment form that will be live on the classes and planning page about a week before school starts, and you can print that out, put in the class number, the section number. If that professor signs that piece of paper, that is your ticket. It's your golden ticket into the class. You would then take it to the campus service center, and that's the only way to override enrollment.
Yeah, but I would definitely say have a backup plan. So have a schedule in place, have the 12 units at least in your shopping cart, so your financial aid and housing is not affected. And then if you get into the class, awesome, you can drop that other class, you know, during the first 2 weeks, but make sure you have yourself covered. So you're not scrambling around trying to add a class at the last minute.
Good advice.
Yes. So the student asked about EOP information. Alex was very helpful and put in the phone number of EOP in the chat. So there it is for Janine.
Alex, you overachiever. Thanks, Alex.
We have a lot of great support in this office. We support you and each other.
Yes, we do.
That's right, Meg.
We do.
All right, going on down. Who do we talk to if we're considering becoming a double major?
Well, okay, so first off, double major is pretty challenging on this campus, and I would say probably most universities in this day and age. There are a lot of restrictions and guidelines that you have to follow if you are trying to double major. The first one is that you have to be able to get both majors done within 144 units. And I will tell you that if you have one high unit major or if they're both high unit majors, then that's almost impossible. That's pretty much impossible. So that being said, it's probably not a great way to spend your time. We always recommend minors. If you really, really want to have that kind of experience and that educational foundation, or if it's needed for a job that you want to get into or a career path, a minor is a great kind of alternative. Instead of having like 40 unit requirements or 16, it's more like 12 or 10, or sorry, not 12 or like 20, which is still a lot. So talk to your advisor and talk to the advisor of the major that you're interested in adding, so you can kind of see what will be expected. Another thing to keep in mind is that for most double majors and even for minors, you can't double count any of your requirements for those majors. So I have a lot of computer science students that want to take a math minor, and you can't double count any of those classes, even though they're like the same classes. So you end up taking more classes on top of what you're already required to do. And that's pretty standard for all majors on campus and minors. So really evaluate if a double major is going to help you get to that end goal. If it is, and if you're totally dead set on doing that, then talk to your advisors and we can see what we can do and work with you. But think about all the alternatives too, in other ways to kind of.
And that 144. 144.
Yeah, I would also say a lot of us would agree that sometimes getting actual experience in the field is a way more beneficial and helpful to set you apart than doing another major and having that background. Taking a couple of classes in the major that you're interested in for double major, and then doing an internship that really kind of supports that might help you get a lot closer to that end goal. So there's a lot of other ways to kind of get to where you need without overwhelming yourself with units and requirements. So talk to your advisor again.
Yeah, I definitely agree with all that. And then really also think about what's driving you to want to double major. How is that going to help you when you graduate? Is it really worth it? Is it something that will really help you reach your goal? If not, then you might, like Jessica said, getting that work experience, or maybe thinking about just a minor. Sometimes a minor can be just as valuable as another major.
Or a grad program.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Spending time in a grad program will help you get there a lot faster sometimes than just getting a double major. Because you don't get 2 bachelors. You just one bachelor's degree and you have kind of 2 focuses. That's another thing students think they're getting 2 bachelor's degrees, and you're definitely not. So,
right.
So think about it and consult with your advisor.
All right. We have about 5 more minutes, and there is one more question that came in, but as we answer that question, we can then wrap up, and then if any more come in, we can try and answer them quickly.
And do our dance routine.
We may not have time for that. When I looked up, which I might be able to help with this one, Caitlin, when I looked up at the classes under my major, I saw that some of the elective classes were not available or were not taught. Is there a chance that they will be taught in other semesters/years? So yeah, Caitlin, if I remember correctly, I think that you are marine science, and there are classes that are listed on the catalog that we've offered in the past that may not be offered in the fall semester or were offered last semester. A lot of it is to do with, who can teach it, funding. We may have offered a class at one point, so it's on the catalog as a class that we've offered, but we may not have been able to offer it most recently. I can't say, I don't know which classes you're specifically talking about. I can't say if those are for sure going to be offered ever again in the future, but hopefully if they were offered at one time, as our program grows, then we'll have the opportunity to teach those classes plus more cool new ones as well. So when you and I meet to discuss your learning plan, then we can talk about potential classes that may be offered in the future. And it's just, if you see a class that you want to take before you graduate, you can touch base with me. You can send me a quick email to say, hey, have you heard any news about this class? You know, and I can give you whatever updates I have.
Yeah, and I would just kind of add, that goes for a lot of majors on campus. The catalog lists a bunch of classes, and sometimes those are even like dream classes. We hope we can offer those in the future. Yeah. But like Meg said, it's based on, who can teach it and a bunch of other little factors. So check in with the advisor or the department to see if that's something that's possibly could be offered in the future, or if it's a class that hasn't been offered in years. It can be a little misleading. So, but talk to your advisor. We'll give you other great options.
Yes. One more came in, but I think we might defer this. But it says, any advice on choosing a meal plan?
Yeah.
I would defer that too to students.
Housing.
Yeah. And housing.
Yeah.
I know that there's information about meal plans on the housing website, so you can kind of look and see what ones might be best fitted for you. There are different options. If you're more of a commuter student and won't be living on campus, then there might be an option anyway. So there are different options. So there isn't just one size fits all. There are different ones you can choose from, which are on the housing website.
Yes. Think about you and how much you like to eat, and take that into consideration, because you don't want to overshoot, but you also don't want to be starving at the end of the semester. So kind of play it out. You can always change it to next year if it's like too much or too little.
Another one came in. For courses that show staff or instructors, will this be updated before the start of the semester?
We sure hope so. Yes. We sure hope so.
Yeah, a lot of departments are still looking for lectures to fill in some of the spots. So if they're blank, that's usually why. And lectures also don't really get added until like almost right before the semester starts. So keep an eye on the schedule. You can also try to contact the department, but a lot of them are not here over the summer. So you might not get an answer right away, but they just keep an eye on the schedule, I would say.
Yes, agreed. All right. I think that's all the ones that's all that have come in so far. So I'm going to start wrapping it up here.
All right.
Thank you everyone for submitting your questions and for watching us today. Like Jessica mentioned earlier, we're going to be hosting an open lab this afternoon on the first floor of the library on campus from 1 o'clock to 4:30 p.m. Those are really just encouraged for local students to come. We're not making it mandatory whatsoever. But if you are local and have specific questions about classes or anything else you want become more comfortable with, then we can help you with those questions and concerns during open labs. I don't know if we talked about registration dates, but we did say that you're not going to register at orientation, but students who attend orientation, transfer students who attend orientation can start registering on June 21st. And for those who have, for those that come in with the most units, you're going to start to register on June 21st. If you have a little fewer units, then you might be starting on June 22nd for those transfers who are coming to orientation. Freshmen who are coming to orientation start registering on June 23rd. And then students who are not able to make orientation will be able to start registering on June 26th. Then again, check your emails, make sure you're reading them. They're very well thought out, and really we put a lot of thought and time into those emails to help you get ready for classes.
Start using your CSUMB email.
Yes.
Yes.
So again, thank you to our awesome advisors for being great presenters today. And thank you everyone for submitting your questions. I hope we answered to the best of our ability and got your questions answered. So we look forward to seeing you when you start here at CSUMB and helping you get more connected to campus. And we're excited to have our new otters start.
Yay, welcome otters.
Welcome otters. Thanks everyone.
Bye.
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 Dance time?